Que lo que mi gente, what is good, my people? It's your boy, the one and only Charlie. And you're watching and listening to CCP Podcasting. And when everything's all said and done, we will be celebrating and dancing all night long. It's Cha time.
What is happening, friends of CCP Podcasting? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Bell. I am Chris Page. That is John Cable. What is happening, brother? How are you?
It's another muggy day in Florida, and we are set to enjoy some more deep dive conversations.
These are so fun. This show's turned into one of my favorites, and I'm not even gonna pretend to.
100%.
Not even gonna pretend like it isn't. We've got such a tremendous show out and turnabout from these programs. Even it seems to be like on a daily basis, somebody's reaching out or I'm reaching out. This today is for me is it's going to be a good one because we're getting ready to head on back to the great country of Portugal. And we're going to welcome in the Iberian Wolf, Mr. Lobo Iberico. What is happening, man? How are you?
Welcome, boys, to my hunting ground.
Uh-oh. You eat John first. Eat his face first. Save me for later. I've got a little bit more meat on the bone. How are you, brother? It's good to have you on.
Surviving, at least. That's all we can ask.
John, say hello to Lobo.
That part.
Yeah.
Hello, sir, and thank you for being on. We're glad to have you. It's been something that we've been looking forward to since we've stumbled into the Portuguese product.
I mean, I'm thankful for having me. I mean, it's a great opportunity, and glad for you guys for having me, and at least tell a bit my story and Portuguese wrestling. At least my vision of it, my story of it. Yeah, it's a short one, but there's a lot to talk about. Believe me.
That's right. I mean, it's everybody has a story in the industry, and they're all different. That's the beautiful thing about it is, everybody gets started a different way and in different areas. And like we said, you're over in Portugal. I think we were talking off air. You got into the business in 2013. So you're a little over a decade in at this point. And let's kind of just start at the top. At what point in time did you get bit by the wrestling bug, and how was it over in Portugal? Starting off.
So here in Portugal was by phases in a way. Like Nelson talked to you about the era of the 50s and 60s when there was wrestling here, where we had the big names of Carlos Rocha who was champion in WWF, and we also had the big name that if you go to any boomer in Portugal, any like from 60 to above, and ask him about this name, they might not know what wrestling is, but they know that name, which was Tarzan Taborda. It was pretty much our Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
Yeah. And I remember when I was a kid, let's say in the beginning of the 90s, at the time we had like 2-3 channels at TV, national channels, and I remember Tarzan Taborda, they would pass the WWE on TV, and we had Tarzan Taborda as one of the commentators. So I would see like Hulk Hogan, Ted DiBiase, Undertaker. My favorite at the time was Papa Shango for some reason. I mean,
he's a good one.
There was something about him. It was not the wrestling ability. It was the aura.
It was the gimmick. It was the whole.
Yeah, it's 100% the gimmick.
His deal with the Ultimate Warrior when he put a curse on him and the Warrior started like hacking up black stuff. Like, dude, I was Like fucking
My oldest
first.
wrestling memory is that the Ultimate Warrior puking that ooze. It was
Mhm.
like, and I had the toys. I had the Ted DiBiase and the Hulk Hogan. Those that would like
The wrestling
move.
buddies.
That that now cost a fortune, and my
Yeah.
father threw them away when I was older. So,
Oh,
mm,
Dad, you're meanie.
yeah.
Uh, I remember.
So that was the
Go ahead.
yeah, no, no. Say it.
Oh, I have no.
You remember?
I was going to be bullshitting. I remember. Well, first of all, I said I cussed first. I win. Let's just get that out of the way. I've already dropped the F bomb and I said shit, so I'm already head for this watching. It's a little joke ski. I see if I can cuss first, and if I win, I win. Um, so your first influences and the first things you can remember is the Ultimate Warrior and Papa Shango. That right there.
More Papa Chango, definitely Papa Chango. Like I remember Hulk Hogan, I remember Ultimate Warrior, but it was Papa Chango that left me. Like the smoke, the aura, the weirdness of it. It was,
It was the
and then
supernatural quality of it all.
exactly. I mean, as a kid, I started seeing horror movies early. I mean, I was a blockbuster kid. I was always renting Child's Play, Nightmare in Elm Street, like kind of stuff. And then they stopped putting wrestling on TV, and it disappeared from Portugal. Uh,
Assholes.
I know that uh, I know that in Lisbon they Tazanta Borda started the school, so so they kept going. So a lot of the veterans guys they are here longer than me train under him. And by say training, I was like he had the place and had them bumped, but it is what it is. And I think then there was what we call the big boom in wrestling in Portugal. So we had in cable TV we had a channel which was Sick Radical, which was at the beginning. Now it's not more that, but it was a channel that had a little more extreme content. It was one of the first that had anime, had extreme sports, uh, had alternative stuff.
Hmm.
And in 2003, they started having wrestling there. I think it was right after WrestleMania 19 or after Backlash. I'm not completely sure, but that was is more or less when they started putting wrestling in Portuguese TV. And that was the big boom of wrestling here in Portugal because people started, oh, look at these. Before I knew about wrestling from video games, from SmackDown, Shut Your Mouth, Here Comes the Pain. Because
No, your role
my
was my favorite one.
no, yeah,
That was my favorite one.
I I spent hours and hours with my cousin playing at his PS2. I remember he had a demo of the first one. You had like 5 or 6 wrestlers, but you could only wrestle for 5 minutes. The match would end.
Hmm.
Yeah, the
But we
5 minute
would
time limit on the demo. Yeah, so you got to get
uh,
that win in quick.
exactly, and we always repeat the freaking demo. We'd be hours and hours just playing that, just playing that. And that was my first interaction with Triple H, with Kurt Angle, with the American Badass, the Undertaker.
If
But
uh,
then wrestling,
if
but then
if
wrestling came to Portuguese division,
if
and
you missed No Mercy for Super Nintendo, you've missed the greatest wrestling game of all time. Period.
It
probably
was a good
here's the
one,
thing.
but SmackDown 2 Know Your Role was pretty fucking good.
Here's the thing here in Portugal. Um, Mega Drive or Sega Genesis was bigger here in Europe than Super Nintendo
Mhm.
was. It
Okay.
was the opposite. Like Nintendo 64 was actually big here, but when the 16-bit era, it was more a Genesis thing
Yeah,
or Mega
Europe did
Drive, how
not
you call
really
it.
catch the Europe didn't really catch the Nintendo bug until the 64 came out because the 64 was pushing game boundaries on all fronts. And before that, realistically, Sega was a much better system than the Nintendo versions, but it didn't have the marketing that
It
America that the Nintendo had.
it might have been 64 that it was on. I was in I was in college. That's 20 years ago. 24 years ago.
No,
Probably.
you're right. It was on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, it was. Oh,
But
okay.
that did not catch on big in Europe until the Nintendo brand didn't grow like it did in America because of the marketing and the sales restrictions in Europe at the time
I
that they
think
were
we only
going
got
through for.
big with handhelds. With the
Okay.
Yeah,
handhelds, and
when the
then
64 and the Game Boy came out, those became massive. And even then, the Sega Game Gear as a handheld sold very well in Europe.
so it is what it is. Um, but so yeah, wrestling started big at that era, and but I didn't have a cable TV at the time. But I had a friend from school that would record all the shows in a VHS. So he would
Everybody
like,
had that friend.
so for a
He'd pop his
month,
trunk and there'd be just tapes lined up.
it was pretty much just like for a month he would record every episode, and then he would borrow the tape, and then we'd give it back, and he would record it on top. It was wild time.
You got to do what you got to do,
And
right?
and then uh,
The
and
original
then like
version of shareware for sure.
it is. And then like the internet appeared and we start looking for wrestling in the internet. I found blogs about it, joined a couple of them. That's where I know about TNA,
Okay.
New Japan. And it's funny because about TNA, so uh, Nelson talked to you about the SmackDown or WWE show that you had
Mhm.
a contest, right?
Yeah.
So my first live wrestling event was the first ever show TNA did in Portugal, which was in collaboration with the first Portuguese company, which was APW, that still exists today, which is the oldest one.
Okay.
They did a cross event, and a curious thing about that event is the first time Kurt Angle faced Samoa Joe in TNA was here in Portugal at that show.
Nice.
Before they faced in TV, they faced here in Portugal.
You got a sneak
They were
peek.
using
And
you guys like a test market for the angle.
well, that's the thing about Portugal. We're pretty much a test market for everything in Europe.
I mean, that seems okay. You guys get to look at everything before it goes out.
In a way, yes, and we test stuff before. Like, there's a lot of inventions in Portugal that goes away. So it is what it is. But unfortunately, but that was also the first contact I had with Portuguese wrestling.
Okay.
Although it was not a good one because they did like a rumble
Hmm.
to this because they would do two shows, one in Lisbon and one in Porto, which is in the north of the country. And the Rumble was going to decide who was going to face the champion of APW in the next show in Porto. And that fucking Rumble, it's to this day, it's probably the worst Rumble I ever seen. Like it was
Oof.
bad, like bad, like I saw a guy dressed like a security guard enter and do the worst Cobra clutch ever which is ironic because Cobra Clutch now is one of my finishers. Now that I think about it,
You saw how not to
but
do it. We're like, I can do better than that. Come on.
that's exactly what I thought at the time. Like I saw that motherfucker doing it. I was like, I can fucking do better. It was bad, really bad. But it's funny because from that show, another company appeared, which was Wrestling Portugal.
Okay.
And for a time they were doing they started doing shows. They had guys that they went to England to train, to do seminars. Their main guy was a Lance Storm trainee,
Yep.
so at least some quality they had. And the first proper wrestling shows in Portuguese wrestling shows that I went were theirs. So that I went to watch. And at the time, it was good wrestling. Now that I look back, it was okay. It was what it was at the time.
Hmm.
We all have to start somewhere.
But they were entertaining at least. And there's guys there that, for example, one of my favorites at the time was a young guy called Pegasus. That I thought it was at the time was the most complete wrestler in Portugal, like promo wise, look wise, technique wise. And it's funny because right now I'm at that company. I'm in a faction where he's the leader. So
Full circle.
It's a small world, isn't it?
it's funny, but I never trained there at the time because I was a fan, but it was hard for me to do. It's like I would like. It's like all fans have the wish to try, but I was like, uh, maybe, but I don't know.
It takes a little bit of crazy to be a wrestler. It does. It's not for
uh,
everyone.
exactly. So how did I really got into it? So as I said, I was into wrestling blogs at the time. And there was one guy that I met at that blog that the first interaction we had was actually an argument in chat about the concept of Ric Flair being a junior.
I'm sorry. Wait, what?
I might wait.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
I need to get context on this. Hold on.
Let's just think of Flair.
Because I was like, a junior wrestling has a certain style of wrestling, blah blah blah, and the guy started like Ric Flair's like, Ric Flair's not a fucking junior wrestler. What the fuck are you talking about? Yes, he is. What he's
Ric
a fucking
Flair's the
heavyweight.
fucking
What
man.
the hell are you talking about? Ric Flair was the man, but he's not the junior.
No.
Exactly. But the funny thing
I can
is,
kind of see the point. And I know that's a hot take, but I can kind of see the point. Examine his moveset. Like, realistically, examine his moveset. And tell me that he's got better moves than, like, a 5-year graduate.
Listen, Flair has got the one thing that nobody else will ever have. He has got the fucking
Look, other
Flair
people
flop.
do the flop, okay?
There's only one Flair that can do the flop.
Look, I'm just saying, I can concede the point. I get the argument. I can see where he's coming from.
You're going to wrestling hell. I don't know what else to tell you.
That's probably true. I'm probably going to drive the bus. Especially after my comments in our chat about Arn Anderson the other day.
oh Jesus.
Yeah,
but we kind of bombed it after that.
Let me tell you a quick story real quick.
No,
So
Sure,
I'll give you the Arn Anderson story because we're talking about Flair. This motherfucker drops in our Discord server something about how, because I'm a big, 80s baby and Flair and the Horsemen.
Hey, look, and I'm an Arn fan. Let's be fair. I love Arn.
This motherfucker, and for those watching this video, you can reply and comment down below, and you tell me if you think that this is right too. I think it's terrible. Terrible take. That Adam Rose has a better spine buster than Arn Anderson.
Oh
Oh
no! You don't
yes.
say that.
Oh
Oh
Look,
no! You didn't
yes.
look,
go there. You
listen.
don't.
I got the clips. I put them side by side. I watched one. I watched the other, and I preferred Rose's Spinebuster to Anderson's. I'm sorry. I know he's the
There's some
Godfather.
stuff.
I know he's the OG. I know he's the man that does it. But I'm just saying that maybe the guys that are known
Unfucking
for a move
believable.
aren't always the ones that do them the best. It's
Unfucking
my
Next, you're gonna
believable.
opinion.
say
It's a
Dolph
hot
Ziggler
take.
has a better super kick than Shawn Michaels. Don't you fucking dare!
He's thinking
I
about it.
mean, we can
Jack.
have that
Don't you fucking
conversation.
dare! Oh,
Look,
fucking
Ziggler
you
doesn't
answer.
get Ziggler does not get the flowers that he deserves. He doesn't.
I agree with you in that point. Jeez.
I'm so sorry. I
But
mean to
yeah,
sidetrack us.
go,
Go ahead, Lobo. Where were
alright,
you
going
going?
back, yeah. But yeah, I bonded with that guy. And I came to find out that motherfucker was a wrestler. And not was only he's a wrestler, he's a fucking OG, like one of the old school guys. I mean, he's been retired a long time, but he's been around for a while. And yeah, he was. Then there was one day we were chatting about stuff, and went and said, "Hey, you're in Lisbon, right? My friend Red Eagle has a wrestling school nearby you. Why don't you go there and check it out?" And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, why not? And yeah, and the funny thing is, I didn't remember this. Because I didn't remember when I was my first training. I know my first training was a week after Nelson. Nelson's great with dates. I'm horrible. So today, before this conversation, I went to check a couple dates, and I found I fucking did a review about the training on the blog I belong to, and I posted
What?
it. The blog doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, but I did. So I know the exact date. It was February the 3rd, 2013. My first training.
Well, what was that like for you when you decided that this is something that you wanted to try and do and you go in for this first day of training? Because, again, wrestling in Portugal at this time, it's there, but it's not where it is
It,
today. And I'm just kind of curious, like, what was your mindset going in, and at what point in time during your training, did you really hone in that this is something that you really wanted to do?
so pretty much I thought it's like, well, I'll try it, and if I don't like it, I'll just I just won't go again. It's like, I mean, if it's too hard, it's just too hard. I'll just try it. So yeah, I go there to Ajuda, and which is a very sketchy part of Lisbon. Let me
It
just
always is, isn't it?
mildly,
It's the
mildly
rent.
say
The
it.
rent prices
Uh,
are cheap.
Facts.
and it's funny because it's right next to a monument, a palace that's used for official ceremonies, and it's next to a stadium of one of the oldest soccer clubs in Portugal. So it's like it's a place with a lot of tradition and story, but it became rough. It's a rough place. So I was like, okay, so I'll hear. And the trainer Red Eagle came to me, met me, and so it's like, oh, okay. And my first training was just with two guys. It was Red Eagle, which was my trainer, and Chris' favorite wrestler,
Really?
Joao Milao.
Really?
A very young, Justin Bieber haired Joao Milao.
Oh, my
Uh,
dude.
and I'm gonna say one thing. Don't take offense. I think Joao Milao is disgusting. Is disgusting. It's fucking disgusting how fucking talented that guy is. It annoys me. annoys me how fucking talented that motherfucker is.
Tell us
He
what really
shouldn't.
chaps your ass, Lobo. Tell us what really chaps your ass.
Yeah, tell me how
Jeez,
you really feel.
jeez, like no, like in terms of raw talent, he's top three, if not top two guys in Portugal for me. Like
So,
I, I almost put him above Damien's for me. Like if I had to do a list of the top three in talent for me, I would say Damien's is third, Joao Milão is second, almost there with first
so
for me.
first of all, let's give all these guys their flowers real quick because we had talked previously before we came on the air with Damino. Like I thought Damien. I thought that
Yeah,
his heel work is fucking tremendous from
Fire.
that first WrestleFest event that we watched with Nelson. And then going back to WrestleFest II that we actually watched back originally, the show that started it all for Portugal with us. It was his tag match was fucking spot on. Like it's good stuff, and my
and
boy,
this next tag match is probably even better from the one they had this last week from the reaction
Yeah.
they had. Like people are saying, best tag match in Portuguese
I cannot
history.
wait for
listen,
that to drop.
So
don't fucking
I
tease me
can't
with
wait for that to drop.
you son of a bitch! Don't you do that to me, because I don't know when
I'm a
Nelson's
heel,
gonna have that
mate.
show ready. And my other
It
I'm a
shouldn't
dude,
be
heel,
too
mate.
long. He told us 2-3 weeks.
my guy, so like obviously, I'm a gay man and I'm married and living my life. So when I see like representation, the truth of the matter is back in my day, '99 is when I got into the business. It wasn't talked about, and if it was talked about, it wasn't pretty. And I've seen people get kicked out of locker rooms. I've seen people get beaten up for being who they are. Fast forward to 2024, the landscape is completely different, and for our community, the LGBTQ community plus, we have such a wide representation, especially here in the states and across the world. To see that, and that he was in the main event, and that the entrance he knocked it out of the park. I was
Yeah.
immediately a fan, and then the bell rang, and I saw what he was able to do in
And
that ring, and he's fucking
I'm gonna tell
tremendous.
you, and I'm gonna tell you the story. Because he for a long time suffered with that. Like not because we would tease him, not because we all knew, but he was a young kid trying to find himself yet. But that made him really shy, very close himself. And there was, and it's funny because years later, I come because I went out of the country. I come back for one show, and he comes to talk to me. Like I saw him, like, oh shit, you're back, because he disappeared for a while. We one of our nicknames. We have two nicknames for him. The biggest one is the pink elephant. There's two reasons for that. The second, I won't. It's about an accident that happened. I won't tell you about it. If you want to know about it, interview him.
Yeah.
The first one is
Nope.
because the first one is because we had a Dutch wrestler called Kenzo Richards that came here and said that he had the charisma of a pink elephant, and that stuck. So that's uh, another of our
I mean, that's
nicknames we
props.
give
To
him.
this day, Disney's
Uh,
Pink Elephant is still an icon. So
I mean, last birthday I gave him a pink elephant shirt as a present, and
Sure.
he fucking wears that all the time.
I mean, you gotta accept it. You gotta own it. That's one of those
Uh,
nicknames that'll always bring a laugh.
if I'm his little wolf, he's my elephant.
Mm.
That sounded
I love
wrong,
it. That's great.
but yeah, the other
Yeah, I'm not
nickname,
getting into that part of it, but yeah, sure.
the other nickname give him is Maddie McCain because sometimes he likes to disappear away and nobody knows of him. So yeah, there was a time where he disappeared and then he came back. Is like, oh, here you are. Oh, you, you oh, so now you're coming out and oh, you want what? You want me to draw your gear? Okay, because he pretty much came to me. My first no, all my gears. I was the one who draw. Like this mask, I was the one who did the design. This was my first one.
I
I
like
did
the
the
blue
design as
one
well.
personally.
Uh, I'm thinking of bringing the blue back again, but I need a better design than the one gear I have right now. Um, but yeah, I draw his first gear as representation of him, which was the Rainbow Warrior gear, which was a
Okay.
little bit inspired in Sensei. So
Hmm.
it meant a lot to me because he came to me like he said he wanted to be a symbol. He wanted to represent who he was, to be to be something for the community, and he wanted something that represented that. It's like, man, he
I
just needed to
and
ask.
it totally is, and I say that because like
Hmm.
there's somebody in Portugal right now, that is not comfortable with who they are, is battling the same questions and the same, and I can only imagine how it is over there. I mean, like I said, Portugal is a smaller place than here in the States, and I know how it was for me.
And it's a Catholic country, so
I
it doesn't help.
mean, but for him to be able to come out on the platform that he has with Portugal, especially with how the overall business is rising, he's going to be able to help somebody because they're going to look at him, and if he is that comfortable with himself, then so can I. And it's little things like that. We
I
had
mean,
talked.
a lot of people have been coming to him as like they're inspired by him. It's man, yeah, he's a
It's
symbol.
a lot of weight on a person to take on
It
themselves, and
is.
he should be proud of the fact that he's not only willing to, but capable and doing so well with it.
Uh, so imagine me that I know him since he was just a shy little kid.
I,
So
you
yeah,
know,
and
The
so yeah, my
glow up
first
was real.
training was my first training with what was with him. So that's how special it was. So yeah, pretty much I did the first. If you ask me what I did, I don't fucking remember. I just know that I came home as like I was sore. Was like, fuck, I need to go back next week because
well,
you guys know this is worse than a drug.
it's addicting.
This is a,
It's
this is
very.
It
evil.
is.
Like if you like if I don't train after a couple of weeks, I just want to start grabbing people in the street and doing rascals and shit,
Yeah. So
or starting shopping people.
when you get into some of the training, what was some of the hardest things for you to pick up, like what as far as like grasping? You know what, John? Let me turn it over to you to ask these questions because training is your bread and butter, and
It is.
uh,
It's the thing I love the most.
Yeah.
And
For
so you go through these first couple of training things, and you're starting to get into it, and things are progressing, and you've decided this is something that you like, and you've been bitten by the bug. While you're doing the training, is it the regiments or the mic work or the gimmick work, or what part is it that struggle for you to
I
really
think
get together?
it was probably body control, positioning, because I usually say I have two right feet and I'm left-handed.
mm,
Did you have any sports experience, or were you involved in
Ju-
any team stuff growing up?
I used to be a scout, so yeah.
Okay, so not entirely a physical sport.
So here's the thing. I started old, like 25, which is old for wrestling.
For a
Let's
new
be
guy in
honest.
training, yeah, that's probably
It
past the
is.
prime they're looking for.
And I start like I didn't start bad in shape. I was okay in shape, but I started already fucked because I had 16 years of scouting in top. I had scoliosis in my back. I had a fucked up ankle. I had a broken wrist.
So you're coming into
So
this industry that does horrible things to your body with preconceived conditions about how your body was going to detract from that.
so what were you saying about you needing to be mad to be in this business?
That's
Yeah.
yeah, it's that crazy aspect. So how did you overcome that fact? Was it just hard work and effort, or was there
Yeah,
tools that you used to overcome that, or what was that like?
yeah, a little bit. Pretty much just getting into the drift of it, like repetition. Like, we had once a seminar with Jigsaw, and there
Mhm.
was a phrase that he said that pretty much his seminar was around one phrase, which was repetition creates habit.
Mhm.
We
Facts.
we did a whole session of 1 hour just doing the Nipponesa, which is pretty much the Mexican International.
Mhm.
Imagine 20 dudes in a line, two in the ring, do the Nipponesa, someone gets out, one gets in.
Yep.
And then
Repeat,
rotate.
repeat, rotate until nobody fucks up.
Yep. Well,
Repetition creates habit.
because that spot's international. Literally, you can get in the ring with
Exactly.
anybody and
Uh,
call that spot, and it will get you to something else for sure. So I get it, 100%.
So yeah, it pretty much repetition, repetition. Like in terms of character, there was not a problem. Like I think I got the character I wanted from the beginning. Um, I remember we had an interview because I wanted to be something. I didn't want to. I looked what we had from the guys that were training, were starting. So I wanted to be different. So I was like, hey, maybe there's not a lot of masked guys around, only my trainers. So maybe I'll try to be like the Black Tiger to his tiger mask,
Hmm.
like be the opposite of him. Like he's red, I'll be blue. He's a high fly technical, I'll be a brawler, something like that. He goes fast, I go slow.
There's
Try to be the
long-standing traditional roots there, and I love the fact that you've embraced that and run with it.
uh, but there was one thing that was like I wanted to make my character different. So when we had a reporter there from a local newspaper. They asked me about my character. They asked me about the mask, and I came up with the thing I said at the moment, but it was like, "Fuck, this works well." Which was the mask is not to hide who I am, is to show what I really am: a predator, a beast, a monster, a hunter, a dangerous man. So
I
it's
love
more,
that.
yeah. So it's not to hide something; it's to represent. So
It,
it differentiated me a little bit.
yeah, no, it's corner material. The corner of fuck around and find out if they cross you. That's what that is.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly. I
it
mean,
builds on that traditional roots of luchadors having a mask at all, and that is exactly a lot of the sentiment behind it. It's a representation of what you are. It's not a thing to hide your face. It's a representation of what you are, and that's the character work.
uh,
It's not the person underneath. It's the person that could be anyone under there, and being that to other people and for the fans.
exactly. Although Chris now gave me, Chris was talking about the corner of fucking around and find out.
Hmm.
You just gave me an idea because there's a spot I do maybe 70% of my matches. I'm gonna call it, which is pretty much because of my mask. It gives me a little protection. So I like to do the spot where I teasing someone in a corner and they fucking bitch slap me with whole strength in my face. And
Hmm.
there's like, okay, now I'm pissed,
Oh,
and I
that's
wail at them. I'll call this spot fuck around and find out.
as long. Hey, you just point at that camera and say, "That's for you, Paige,"
Corner of the
and
FOFA. It
we're
is.
good.
Yeah,
It's yours.
there
Take
you
it,
go.
and I'll get it,
I'll
and I'll
probably do it.
giggle, and I'll
Oh,
laugh.
here's the thing. I'm going to do it the next week. So I'm going to do a clip for that, and I'll tag you guys.
There you go. It's
Do
yours.
absolutely.
It's yours. Kevin.
Absolutely. So while you're training in the time that you spent in the academies and the time that you spent training, what was your favorite part of it? What was the thing that you really enjoyed that drew you in the most?
Here's the thing. I actually, for some reason, it's funny because I don't use it because of my characters. It was the technical wrestling. The technical, for some reason, I enjoyed technical wrestling. The chains, the locks, the
My favorite
transitional
part.
about things. But the thing is, I'm quite decent. I'm not going to say I'm great technical wrestler. I'm decent. The problem is the character I use shouldn't use technical wrestling.
Oh no, absolutely
I mean,
not. He's a beast.
I do usually in the beginning, but that's it. But yeah, it's ironic because I love technical wrestling, but I can't fucking use it because my character doesn't allow it.
Oh, bro, here you go. Here's
Maybe
another.
one day if I do double duty, I'll wrestle without a mask.
I was
I'll
about
do
to
a
say
technical.
that.
Yeah.
I was literally about to say that. Here we go, debuting as someone else.
No, listen.
Lobo the technician.
I got something better. Like Lobo's a crazy badass. You get cracked in the head one time, and it could be one spot. It could
Yeah.
be something crazy, and you come back. You still have the mask, right? But you're suddenly different, and you just chain wrestle the fuck
I'm
out
a
of somebody
technical now.
until he cracks you over the head again, and then you go right. It's like
So you
Yeah.
eat another
that's your
chair and you're like,
that's your switch,
wait.
and then you're like, oh wait a minute, like it's kind of multiple personalities of Lobo. Never know what you're
Yeah.
gonna do.
Transition between rudo to technical.
It could be great. I'm telling you. Uh, so
Jesus.
when I know this is kind of off. It's off kilt. It's not the topic of conversation, but I am curious to know. If I don't ask it now, my ADD will kick in and I'll forget. How does it
Sure.
for you to come in on the backside of when wrestling in Portugal was kind of not where it should be, and to see where this growth has taken and how their market is growing, there are more asses and seats. To be there in the beginning and to see now where it's coming and to think about where it's actually going moving forward, how does that make you feel as a and not only as a wrestler but as a man, because you are a part of this movement. I want to like really make sure that everybody understands this. Like you're kind of one of the older cats that's in the Portugal market right now, and you're not that old uh, as far as in ring is concerned. But to be able to see over the last several years and be a part of that building block, the talent that makes the wheel move and greases the things to get the people back into the arenas, how does that make you feel?
So, in a sense, proud of mainly because of all the guys that worked with me. Um, Also, there's like a sense of fulfillment at the same time, but at the same time, there's also the head. I know I can give more. Like I like right now, I'm always thinking about uh, because some guys retire real early from this. So like my idea for right now is like I'll reach 40 and then we'll see.
Hmm.
When I'm reach 40, let's see how I feel, how my body goes. And from there, I already know what my last match is gonna be. I already decided. Like if I'm gonna go lace my boot, I'm gonna go as my hero. I'm gonna do the exact same match he did, at least the type. I'll probably will take the bump, but we'll see. But until then, it's like I would like to be able to give as much as I can like I don't consider myself a great wrestler. Like I'm a good hand, and but I want to be able to help as much as possible. Like I'm a storyteller above all. I want to tell good stories. I want to help build good, great stars. I want to like in 5, 6 years look behind like that guy is the main face of here. That guy has been 10 times champion, and I helped them be there.
Facts.
I don't know. It's like
I
and
think
try to
that
feel like I at least I can pass something as well.
I really, want to commend all of you guys right now for what you're doing for your market. Like it's some good stuff. And if no one else tells you, and no one else has ever told you, I will tell you. Thank you for what you're doing because you are a pivotal piece to the puzzle there. And it would not move as smoothly or flow as smoothly as it would if you were not there. And you are an instrumental piece to the new young crop of talent that you've got coming up through Portugal, and that's the same for all the vets over there. We were talking to Nelson, we've talked to Paulo. They were like, "Hey, we've only got like 40 or 50 wrestlers here, all together, give or take." So the market, while it's
No,
smaller,
I don't think even that. I don't think we can. I don't think it reaches that many. I think if we have 30 is a lot.
well, you guys are.
Can you imagine an American
Uh,
product if the country only had 30 or 40 wrestlers? Like any product?
like for you to imagine, right now there's four active companies in Portugal. There's one in the south. There's three in Lisbon. If we forget the company where me and Nelson were before, because everyone left that place, we can talk about it if you want, but we'll start. Uh, the roster of all the other three companies is 80% the same.
I love that personally. We've seen this in other markets too, where the rosters share from company to company, and it seems like the effect of having a known talent in another company gives credibility to that company, and the fans trust the product more. So it seems like they're able to build a following easier with names that they already know. And that gives those new kids coming into those individual companies a fan base to go out in front of and build a repertoire. So I
It's
think,
interesting. It's sorry, but it's interesting because that's only happening these last 2 years.
yeah,
Because
no, it's been since the pandemic.
uh, even like it started after the pandemic,
Mhm.
but like the big boom of like everyone being connected is like it was like 2 years ago. Because for example, when we did the first WrestleFest, I remember we did the first WrestleFest, and we're people in the backstage was like, "Holy shit! This is the first time I see like WP, CTW, APW, everyone together in the same backstage." Because before that would be unthinkable, and now
Yeah,
it's like,
Nelson was talking about that, how
yeah,
the tribalism was really bad until he just reached out to people to do this vanity show that he wanted to do, and it turned into something that was far bigger than he had expected from the get go.
it's funny because when he reached me to do that show, I was still part of the company, and he's like, "So I want a favor." It's like, "Yes, but yes,
The answer
it's
is
you, mate.
yes. Yeah, how did that work
It's you."
out?
So I'll rush a bit of the story. So um, I was trained 3 years in CTW. Then for reasons of life, I moved to Scotland, and I stayed there for 5 years. And I went back in, back out because they would like tell me, "Well, we have this show. The show, do you want to come?" It's like, "Sure, I'll try to book it." And during the pandemic, stuff went badly between the guys and the main trainer because, well, the guy was a dickhead. Let's be honest. Like
Fair
And
enough.
when I came, and after the pandemic, when I returned to Portugal, um, they were gone. Like Rossi was gone, Nelson was gone, which was like Rossi was the main guy in Portugal, like the main guy, best wrestler, best everything, and he was gone from that company. It was like he left. It's like what the fuck happened? And Nelson was gone as well, but like Nelson wasn't surprised because his situation with the trainer was always edgy for reasons. We know the reasons, but I will don't touch them. And but yeah, and the trainer would give one story, but then later when I talk with Nelson, he would give the real stories. Like okay, fine, yeah. So and this like that first year that we run CTW was pretty much we made CTW the top company in Portugal. Like best shows, best quality, everything. Like we had Joao Milao came back again. He was. We had a new crop of talent that were really, really good. Um, uh, I was. We had two main villains, me and Andy Hendricks, which were built like I was undefeated and I was being built for the main title. Andy won the European title and was in a feud with my trainer Red. So the stories were there, and the fans were showing up like full houses every time. But something in the trainer, like he was more of a dickhead than before, like and stuff were clashing, and I pretty much like stay there for two reasons because I was ready to leave because I was tired. I stayed there for two reasons. First, the kids, because I knew that if I left, there would be someone to be in between him and them if he freaked out or he was being a dickhead. Because I was one of the oldest guys and was the only one who wasn't afraid to tell the truths to his face. In fact, there was one situation when his golden boy went to me and said I was too honest to him when I said that Tajiri said, why? Here's why. You're going to love this story. So we had Tajiri here to do a seminar. We paid 60 quid for the fucking seminar. The students. The other guys probably paid 80 or more. Do you want to know what the seminar included? 600 squats, bump drill, bump how to drill, drill how to bump, and how to run the ropes, and a Q&A where most of the answers for his questions was good question. I answered that in my book. That was the 65th seminar. And then he came to us to ask our opinion about the seminar. As like I heard the guys were complaining about the squats, and I was like, Red, the problem of the seminar was that the fucking squats was the fact that we paid 60 quid and we learned Zinch. We had seminars with Marty Skrull, with X-Saber Jr., Wild Boar, Johnny Kidd, Blondie Barrett, you name it. We learned something with every single one of those. We learned zilch with this. What he did for that seminar, it's what you should do in a fucking first day of wrestling school. And he was pissed when I said that. And the Golden Boy turned to me like, mate, you were too honest to him. It's like, well, someone has to fucking be.
Why
I hate
not?
that whole phrase.
There's no such thing.
Like,
I hate that phrase so much. There is no such thing as too honest. If you didn't want to know the answer and have it told to you honestly, then you should not have asked the question.
So pretty much I was there for the kids, and because I wanted to give Claudia her best match at the time, because she was the other candidate to the title, So we did. No, it wasn't the first intergender match, but our match was where the first woman to gain a national title in Portugal happened. And
Nice.
since we're going to make history, I wanted to give her the best match possible, so I was there for that. But then situation happened. She left. Uh, she announced why she left. The company discarded all reasons, all fault from the reasons why she left. I sent a text this big to Red to say pretty much reasons like you're fucking idiots. I quit. Fuck you. Goodbye.
I think we found the John Cable of Portugal.
I think so.
I think Lobo is me over there, or I am him over here. I don't know.
And the funny thing is, 2 days before I sent that quest, we did the show for Nelson. So I was in that company, but I was like, oh no, fuck him. I'll meet you, Nelson. You want to start a new company? I'll fucking leave and go for yours. You're not. It's just a show for your birthday. Fuck that. I'm there at the same. You're not. If I don't care if you pay me a bifana and a beer, I don't care. I don't care.
I'll take the 2 hot dogs and the recognition. Thanks, sir. I'll have another.
Exactly. It's pretty much that.
When you get that nod from Nelson to go into the very first WrestleFest, and I believe that was you and Nelson in a hardcore match, if I'm not mistaken. When that starts to come together and you guys get to the building, first of all, I guess what was that like from your perspective to know that everybody's coming in for the first time under one roof to have what is supposed to be a one-off, and it's obviously it's a pretty big deal. So from your perspective, how did you feel going into that, and your thoughts on everybody kind of coming together?
Well, going to the show, I just wanted one thing, like the show to be good, like to be a success, because that's all I wish to them. Like, like they deserve success. I want success. I need you guys to have success. I so that's all I wanted. So I was like, please don't be like 10 lost cats in the rain. Please be like, please. And like half an hour before the show started, like when people started coming, is like, is there people coming? Yeah, there's some people coming. Yeah, it's gonna be okay. It's like maybe 80 people. It's like, oh, okay, it's fine. So as soon as we like the music is gonna start, it's like 10 minutes before it starts, it's like one of the staff guys, it's fucking full. We cannot put anyone else. Like,
and you're like, oh shit. Yes.
Is this happening? It's like, is this happening, guys?
It's Field of Dreams, baby. If you build it, they will come.
Mike, like after our match, I gave Nelson after those curtains the biggest hug ever. Like I was proud and happy for him, like ever.
Well, I mean, you beat the shit out of him on his birthday.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, it's funny because he went. I would take the fall for him. I would take the fall for him. It was, but he was like, I want to have the match with you, and I'll take the pin because you're being built as a monster. It's like, mate, I appreciate it. It's like, I would take a fall for you, but thanks. I mean. Shit, okay. Especially because that's our last singles against each other. You want to end the rivalry like that? I mean, okay, man. I'll accept it. But yeah, I was happy and proud. Like me and Claudia, and we were so like because it was me and Claudia and Milan. We were the last ones that was still in the other company, and then we were so like full on for that show. And then shit was happening the other side, and then that show happened like was the happiest day ever. And then Claudia, 2 days after, just decides like, "Fuck this shit, I'm leaving the company." And yeah, and then the Red or one of his flunkies made a statement that was a PR disaster. Like everyone could see that was PR, which pretty much said like it's not our fault, blah blah blah. Like it's like I was just
Lack
like,
of
mate, just
accountability.
exactly, just take the L, say you're sorry, and you be doing something to be better. And I'm gonna tell you one thing. I was going to. I had a batch booked for the next week. I don't remember the name of the guy. Let me see if I find. Yeah, it was a Japanese guy at the time, which was the biggest star in Europe, which was Irie, because he just won the biggest tournament in Europe in WXW, the Golden Karat, I was going to face that guy, and I was going to take the win. So that was going to be my biggest match ever in my career because I was going to face the biggest guy in Europe. I'm going to beat him, and that will probably finally show me to Europe. And I
Oh yeah,
sat in that,
dude, that's a
yeah, and
feather right there.
I said, "Fuck that shit," because I'm with Claudia. Like you be street to her. Fuck that. I don't care about the match. Like my friends are for me. I'm not here for the recognition. Like I'm here because I like wrestling. I like to do. I'm a storyteller. I want to tell stories. I'm not a mark for myself. Do I want to have matches against famous big people? Who doesn't? But if I have to choose
That's
between
why we
that
do this.
and my pals, I'm gonna choose my guys because I'm gonna choose Nelson, Rossi, Claudia, Joe Milão after all that because I started with those guys. Those are my blood brothers, my war brothers. So I'm with them to the end.
No,
Talking to you guys since we've stumbled into this product in Portugal, the thing that really stands out to me is the way that you guys approach the business and the way you think about it. It is not I'm not used to yet, and I know that this is growing in the industry, and I'm glad to see it. But you guys have a mind about the business, and like you said earlier, here just a minute ago, that you're about storytelling, and you're not a mark for yourself, and you just want the product to be good, and whatever role you guys seem to find yourselves in is fine with you. You just want it to be worth it.
I
And
like
the way you guys tell stories and the mentality that you have about the business and how you're not worried about the win loss rates or the stuff going on. You've removed the egos and the tribalism by working together as a group and bringing in more and more talent. What is it that makes? I mean, I get that that's the way it should be, but you and we all know that the industry has not always been that way. What's made it easy to transition into this different kind of era in wrestling where we are sharing rosters and working towards the better story, and we're all collaborating on that effort instead of just having a guy write a thing and go do it? What's the difference, and how did we get here?
I think it's the fact that Portugal is such a small niche that it creates a sense of camaraderie because we all like I said, 80% of the roster of most companies here is the same. So we train with each other. We see each other every month. If it's not in this company, it's going to be in the next one. So there's that connection. And in case of Nelson, like for Nelson, and his pals that are building WrestleFest, there's a sense of camaraderie, uh, and like I just want the product to be good. And I a lot of times it's like I don't care. For example, I don't care if a Lobo loses. Like fuck, I've lost so many fucking times. Like right now, my win loss ratio is in the negatives probably. but but at this phase, I want it to make sense. Like I'm gonna lose. Okay, why? What's gonna build? I'm losing just because, or is gonna build to something? Is a conclusion of something? And like, why is it being built? I mean, there is a sense of respect bigger because I think we see each other as comrades. Like, there's not that much of a competition to get a spot because I mean there's not that many of us, so it's hard to occupy the spots. So I think it's the benefit of having few guys, but at the same time, there's probably a degradation or not a degradation. How do you say? Um, there's a repetition of stuff that is going constantly happening because there's only a few of us. So, but like you said, good things are being building, so we becoming inspiration for others. So hopefully, new students will appear, new guys will start to enter and be inspired and become wrestlers. So we'll see.
I wonder if that has something to do with the shift, actually. And while you're talking about it, I was just thinking, it really is. Before the pandemic, the industry was pretty much strangleholded by the boomer generation of promoters who had an
Tribalism,
idea.
egos.
Yeah, they had this idea of what wrestling was, and a lot of the talent from back in the day, a couple of decades ago, they didn't have a group to work with. They were all individuals trying to get their own success and fame and work on their own contracts. And now we're seeing the locker rooms a much more of a team than we ever have. I wonder if that's just a large part of the shift in the industry as well. Not just in the contract work, but for the LGBT community, for the acceptance of the industry now that was not there 2 decades ago. The newer generation moving through the academies and coming through and being trained up and raised on the ring by guys like you who are looking at the industry in an entirely different way.
I mean, probably. It. I mean, let's be honest. It's a different era now that it was 10, 15 years ago. So,
Mm-hmm.
100%.
uh, but I just so here's the thing. I said that I lived in Scotland for 5 years, right? I was training there in a company called Wrestle, which is I was in a city called Aberdeen, which
Mhm.
is in the far northeast of the country, like
Way up there, yeah.
way fucking up there. Like we would play around saying we were in the North Pole. So they're the biggest company in the Northeast. They pretty much that whole area, and the, like for me, one of the best. Like I think I learned to be a wrestler there, like proper wrestler there, because they had this a system already created to the point where they had shows every 2 weeks. But they worked around 5, 6 major shows. So what we do is like they have those big shows, and then small around they would build up to those big ones, but would create a big rotation of for the wrestlers. Like the veterans, the main stars, of course, are in the big ones, but the small shows would give opportunity to the new guys to get some ring time. And what I was saying is that it's like fuck, we can do that in Portugal. Like we can definitely do that in Portugal. Like I'm not saying like now, but in 5 years, maybe we can fucking like it like here to to Coimbra is like 2 hours, maybe another place. Like just rent a van, grab the ring, and just do a calendar for a year. Like most independent companies do that, have an independent calendar for a year, right? Here in Portugal, it was pretty much for a long time show by show. Like we do a show now, we maybe have a date for the next one, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, we need to be organized, and it's that I wish for Portugal. It's like to we have a rotation of shows where at least once a month everyone can have something. I mean, we shall see because Portugal. We usually say that if it's not football, nobody cares in Portugal, which is kind of true because it's hard to do new stuff here because most of the like people don't go to the theater anymore. Any different sports or shows that is not like the traditional song stuff or football, people don't go. It's like so the fact that this last show it seems like 400, 500 people were
I
it's
was
like
just about to say
fucking achievement.
400 plus. That begs to differ. And you
Like
think about that for just a second and
five
go
years
back.
ago, if we had 50, it was a victory.
That's exactly where I was going. Look at the growth, and like I said, people attribute some of it to COVID, and that might be true. But what I want to really focus on is the aspects of it that don't factor into COVID. COVID may have been an avenue when it was all said and done to get people out of their houses to go and do something, but it's you guys that are in the ring right now that are retaining them and also building them. So while you might have been gifted 100 people, let's just say, in 2 years that 100 has just turned into 400 plus. Not
We
bad.
just need to give them a reason to come back.
And
Because
that's
here's the
what you're
thing.
doing.
Remember when I was talking about the boom of wrestling in Portugal?
Hmm.
It's not like there wasn't nothing happening. Like some companies appeared. The, but the problem was guys that had money and tried to do something there. They were too greedy and try like one guy like had the main wrestlers there and was doing shows all around the country would go to a place and charge like 5K 10K for a show, which was like we like exorbitant amounts for the time for a show because he was from the music industry.
Hmm.
But the thing is, you cannot ask in Portugal the same values for a music show for a wrestling show because music people already know. Wrestling, you're introducing. We need to create a new crowd. Like, there's interest in wrestling now because it's on fucking television. So use that to create because people know people from the TV don't know you guys. Show you guys. But the worst one was one
You said
guy
that there was a whole decade that there wasn't wrestling on the TV at all.
Yeah, but appeared a whole decade. But there was the second boom. That's when they started to do trying to do. The second boom was in 2013.
Well, right, but that decade has a whole generation tied to it that had no childhood ties to watching it on TV. You said your first thing was watching the Ultimate Warrior and the Papa Shango
Exactly.
on TV. Chris's first memories of wrestling were on the TV. Mine were on the TV. Without that, without that reference on the television, you lost a whole generation of fan base,
Exactly. So
and
you
you've
have to
had to
have something
replace that in 5 years.
exactly. And the problem is the guys who were there to replace it did a bad job. There was one guy that had the means, uh, and the problem was he was having guys in the ring that weren't ready to be in the ring. Like sometimes guys that had like maybe three training sessions, and he would go have shows in someone and burn the crowd there and never go back. Charge
Oh,
20
the
quid
two
a ticket.
fastest ways to burn your crowd is have piss poor talent and mistreat them. If you do either one of those two things, you guarantee you don't have another show.
So I mean, I know a lot of guys that worked for that one at the time are like um, they're thankful because he gave them a place to have rotation, to practice their art, to wrestle more, and they pay them well. True, but it burned the business. So at the same time, it's like it was good for you, but it fucked the business. And then after COVID, we had pretty much rebuilt itself. Like the company was before COVID, we had struggled to build our base. It reached a point where we managed to have like 100 to 150 people in there, and we built it from scratch. Then COVID came. We came back from COVID. Half of the guys left. The guys were there left. It was like, okay, let's build. We made the best year in terms of storyline, in terms of crowds, in terms of quality ever in that company. And then the company crashed. Right now, that company has two Portuguese wrestlers, the trainer and his golden boy. He still does shows, but it brings guys from outside because no Portuguese here like will go there because they won't even dare go there because it's bad karma in a way.
Right?
So yeah, it was a we had to build it from scratch, but now we're here. Like it's growing again, it's popular again, and we have honestly, as Nelson said, I'm fucking said again, we have the best batch of talent ever. Like the talent now, it's like here. Like we were here when I started. They're here right now. It's like
Yeah, no,
they're to the level of some stuff we see in television.
We
It's
talk about that
crazy.
with almost everybody we've had on the show. The
Uh,
difference in the student going into the academy and the one like two decades ago, and the student going into academies right now is like night and day.
exactly. It's like it's ridiculous. I see some of these kids as like, I fucking hate you so much. I want to break your knees. Why are you so good? Why?
It
Why?
makes it easy for
Why?
Lobo to be Lobo. It's fine.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm the grizzly angry vet that's angry about everyone.
Paige,
I,
we found your lawn buddy.
yeah, I'm the
I,
get
I,
off.
I,
I'm the get off my lawn guy. I'm that guy.
I actually said Nelson once, if he ever wants to go heel, tag with me. We'll be the old vets that are tired of the young
Oh
shit.
god, it would be so good.
That's a good. That story writes itself.
I mean, it'll be a false. I like
Easy, so easy.
it's funny because before the pandemic, I was building to a twinner turn. Like Lobo will never be a face, never. He can never be a face, but I can be a twinner.
You can be a good
Like
anti-hero.
I mean, I can hate evil, bad guys now. Like
You can
the thing
fight the
is,
establishment and still be an asshole.
Yep, depending
exactly,
on the situation. It's a situational
exactly,
play, right? Like that's a chess piece that you can move around.
exactly. Like Logan won't stop in being a prick, but
No,
I'll
why
be a
should he?
prick to other people.
Yeah, no.
Exactly, exactly. So it was because one match I want to show you guys was what I thought it was going to be the end of my rivalry against Nelson. I was like, okay, maybe I should start turning twin faces because crowd is starting to like my character and it's like I've already did everything I can do as a heel, so maybe do a full circle, maybe like do an idea like okay, Nelson is like facing a group, he cannot find someone to help him. Is like all my buddies are hurt, but I'm gonna face you even if I have to make a deal with the devil. And surprise partner, his old nemesis.
I think it
would
would
But
work.
sell itself.
It would work.
uh, but but right
As
now,
a
honestly, I think the other way around would be work better now. Now, as
Yeah,
things
now I
go.
think him turning heel would be cool. As a heel that gets cheered, how do you reconcile that, like with your gimmick, and like how does that affect your character work? Because if they're gonna cheer for you, it's not like you can go to the old heel trope of cussing a fan out or getting in a fan's face. They're cheering for you. So how do you rectify that in your character?
I just be more of a prick to my opponent.
You got to take the more
Yes.
shortcuts that you take, and of course, like we've seen you in a lot of hardcore stuff. Like your match from WrestleFest I with Nelson was a hardcore match. We saw you in a hardcore tag match with the WrestleFest that we stumbled across from Almada. Uh, is that the? You were talking earlier that you just early on you knew that you wanted to be a brawler. Is that the style that you've maintained throughout your entire career, and the style that you're going to continue with? Like, or are we going to see Lobo in like regular matches over the hardcore matches? And don't get me wrong, I love watching either or, and you smashing somebody with a trash can or throwing them through a table or through a door is high quality entertainment. So I'm for both, but I'm just curious what your thought is on it.
I mean, the thing is, I've done all these hardcore matches not because I wanted. It just happened. It just made sense at the time. It's like, so if I want to do more hardcore, fuck yeah, I want to start
Well,
escalating
I
shit right
I
now.
ask because
But
I see you as the Portugal version of the Sandman for some reason. And
Yeah.
that's from what I've seen. Now keep in mind, full disclosure, curtain pulled back. We haven't filmed your spotlight show yet, but we're going to, and it'll be we'll have more introduction, full detail, deep dive into the character. But I see you based off of what I've previously seen. Like that's how I view you. I view you as he's the Portugal Sandman. If someone says who's a Lobo to me, I'd say who Sandman is. Yeah, well he's Portugal's version.
yeah, I would say Nelson is more of the Portuguese Sandman. I'm probably more of the Abyss because
He's
of the
uh
mask.
he's he's more the Portuguese Steven Richards to me.
Oh Jesus!
Hey, for
Well,
me, that's high praise. He's my favorite. You watch out.
uh, I mean, fair, 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 fair.
John,
That's a compliment because let's be
He's
honest, Sandman
the
was
thing.
was an icon.
The thing about Richards is that he's a toolbox. You
Uh,
have a void to fill. Steven Richards can fit into whatever spot you need him to put into. He's got a character for that. He's got an idea for that. He's got a role for it. It was something that he was so good at. And Nelson, I see as that guy that can just fill whatever role it takes
that
to
that
get the
that
story
is
over.
yeah. That's please. That's the perfect representation of Nelson. He's a toolbox, not a tool. He's a toolbox. Like he
Yeah,
can
not a
do.
tool. He's the whole box. No, no,
Exactly.
don't knock it. He's the whole fucking
Uh,
box.
and the funny thing is, like, he started just as a comedy wrestler. He wanted to do just comedy wrestling, but he
Steven?
was good.
What?
But but he was good at it. Like, I had so. Here's the thing. I faced Nelson with so many matches, like it's so easy for me to wrestle Nelson because I was just goes like, so this, that, you want to do that, that. What? And it was funny because we connected so well because it was the skinny funny guy against the big bad wolf, and it's like it works. It just works. The funny guy, the nerd with the glasses that tricks the bad guy, and he just runs around until the bad guy finally catches. But oh, there he goes again. It's a cliche, but it's a
hmm
good cliche. It works. If it's not broken, why fix it?
I hear you,
Yep.
John. What else you got? And we'll get ready to tie a bow on this. What other questions you got for me?
So, knowing that you guys are building what is the new revival of wrestling over there, and that you are a large part of the pillar post of what's going on in the group of things, what do you think is the best thing that we can do, not just as wrestlers or as Fed heads, but fans, everybody that's involved in the industry, to push this thing forward and get to the new plateau wherever wrestling's heading? Because it's absolutely in a different place than it's ever been, and it's only getting bigger. And you guys are doing that there. So what do you see in the next few years, or what's our opportunity here to really build on what you guys have started and make it flourish into the thing you want it to be?
So, so for fans, well, just keep coming. Like, bring a friend, support the wrestlers. Like, buy a shirt, buy a merch, come to the shows, buy a ticket. If the shows are free, buy a beer. That helps as well. Uh, be a fan. That's all we ask. Be a fan. Bring more fans. That's what we want. As a wrestler, what I'm gonna say is leave your ego at the door, because not because it's not about you. It's about the show. It's, a, it's like I said, we're storytellers. It's about the story we're telling. It doesn't matter if you're a badass, if you're a gangster. It matters about the perception we're passing to the crowd, the story we're telling to the crowd. You, you can disagree or agree about the story, but don't bring ego to it because you want to be the best or whatever. Everyone wants to be the fucking best, but we're building something. We need to start from somewhere, and for that, we cannot have egos being walls and stones for this. There's already enough ego to deal when we have to talk with the. We know Nelson has to talk with the people to organize shows, trying to get venues to do the shows. He already has a lot in his bag for that. He doesn't need to get to the show and have to deal with fucking egos. And we all know there's nothing bigger than a wrestler's ego. So
Yeah.
yeah, and what we need, we need to, for starters, keep doing what we're doing, which is putting great wrestling out there for the crowd, for the internet, for everyone. Do the product and start investing in it, like better production, increase better ring, start maybe getting a couple names to get to raise our stars and learn from the mistakes of the past. I mean, Nelson and his crew has an advantage, which was he was in another company before, and he was everything in that. He was a student, he was a wrestler. At some time, he was helping with the booking. So he did the production. He did the edition for the videos, for the shows. So he knows the ins and outs. So he saw how things work and how things don't work. So we don't need to repeat the errors of the past. We need to move forward. If we do new errors, learn from them and keep going. We fuck up, okay, keep going. we 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 just can't give up. Start, uh, make our roots strong, and then branch. I mean,
You
there's a lot of
guys,
stuff we need to do, but
you guys are on the rise. I feel like it's one of those situations. It's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when. Because numbers don't lie, and when you're drawing 50 plus more per show right now with the WrestleFest events and other odds and ends going on down there. Like you guys are, you're doing good. You're doing what you need to be doing to rebuild your market. I do have one last question for you. Actually, I have two. The first one I've got for you, uh, and really and truly, I'm probably gonna hate myself for asking this, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Being from being from Scotland, or spending some time in Scotland, I gotta know. Do you believe in Joe Hendry?
Oh fuck yeah!
Thank you.
Oh fuck yeah! Fuck yeah!
Uh,
Jesus.
I wanted to
I,
pop
here's the
John,
thing.
and I did.
It's a shame I never met the guy when I was there. I never met him, but I was always a fan, especially his times from ICW. Like
Yep.
those first, those were brilliant. But like already at the time, he was way ahead, and at the time I was like seeing that like this motherfucker needs to go to the WWE because with that production,
Dude,
he'll be
Here,
amazing. And now he's
so
there.
so I have a solution for your dilemma. At the next WrestleFest, everybody throughout the show just cut a promo talking about Joe Hendry, and I hear tell that he'll show
Get
up.
you. Funny, I don't know if Nelson told you he was almost going to be in this last one, but he was already booked for that day. So
I
oh,
mean, I'm just saying,
I mean,
maybe it's
I mean, it
something
would
that
be.
can happen if you guys start talking about him at the next one.
I mean, it
It
needs to
might.
be fast.
yeah, he
It needs
was.
to be fast because those WWE contracts are nasty. I mean, I remember when we had in CTW, we managed to have Pete Dunne right at the time he signed for the cruiserweight tournament.
Uh huh.
So we were lucky. We were lucky that he accepted that booking because he was like he came to us and he was like next week going to WWE.
All right. The next
Slid right in.
question.
So
Next question I've
ah,
got for you, and this one's going to cause you to think for a second. On the independent scene, on your side of the country, your side of the world, excuse me, with Portugal and up in the surrounding areas on the indie scene. If you could give me like 4 or 5 people, who would they be? If you had like 4 or 5 people that you think I should be watching, who would they be?
in Portugal, that's easy. Rossi is one of them, like main guy for ages. Well, Rossi.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I'm gonna say he was the best wrestler in Portugal, most complete wrestler. Like again, look, promo, wrestling skills, and he just came back. He's the guy who Paulo destroyed on WrestleFest.
Mm-hmm.
So
I remember.
who knows? Maybe we'll see something. Um, Claudia Bradstone, definitely. Like Nelson usually called her Portugal's best kept secret
Okay.
because she was really. I remember when we had Webster Morgan Webster with us, and he was seeing Claudia wrestle in the backstage, and he was like, "Fucking hell, she's great!" Like, like she's ring general. Like
We've
she should go to the U.S. to Japan. Like,
we got
but
to see
things happen.
her. We got to see her with Amira and with
Amira,
Laura Di Matteo. We got to see those matches, and I agree. Who else you got? Who else should we be watching?
Uh, I'm not gonna mention João and Damien because you already gonna see those
Mm-hmm.
and we already talked about them. But there's one name I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say because I didn't reference him, but I think he deserves mention. Um, for me, he's probably the biggest rough diamond in Portugal right now. Also, like complete package, look, um, promo, ring style. You already seen him in the ring, and you've seen him against me. I'm talking about Luis Mestre.
Mm-hmm.
Like big talent, great guy, great look. Promo, his promos are always on point. Like intense, charismatic, and he needs a little bit more direction, but like he's the kind of guy that you could build a company around, and he can do face, he can do heel. Like, yeah, like for me, he's the biggest rough diamond here in Portugal, in my opinion.
Here's why I asked that because what happens now is I go out and I start watching these people, right? Like if I've seen them already, I've seen some of these guys already. I'm a big fan of Leo Rossi. I think that guy's fucking tremendous. Anything that I've seen him in, they, they say it factor. It's on him. He's got that it factor, and it should be somewhere under
He did
contract.
make Paolo look like $1 million.
Um, But you actually introduced me to, you give me 5 or 6 names. You introduced me to 10 or 12 people because they got to have opponents. And maybe not everything is in Portugal. Maybe they've been in action elsewhere in other parts of the country. And it introduces us to other people. That's the beautiful thing about independent wrestling is because, word of mouth it's always been to me the biggest, form of publicity is passing things on, and that's why I ask that just about every show so far. And I take the
And
names and I go and find some stuff.
and I'll add one more. This time is not a Portuguese name. It's just for me because it was special. You guys give a check out to WrestleZone because they have really good shit there, like really good stuff there. And I
Well,
mean, Scottish wrestling was always good,
Dude,
but
I'll be
WrestleZone is like,
completely honest. I was as unaware that Scottish wrestling was a thing as I was that Portuguese wrestling was a thing before we stumbled into you guys. And now you and Paolo have talked about the training academy there, and it makes me want to go do my focus for our next indie run into the Scottish scene.
because Paul went to Ireland to OTT, and
Yeah.
I went to Scotland. Uh, Scotland has, I don't know if ICW is still a thing, but
I don't know, but
after
I'm gonna go check out all of that area
uh,
and see what we can run
you
into
have,
because you guys have both said some great things about it.
I have at least two good companies there. There's Discovery and there's WrestleZone. I know there's one company that's TNT, but I don't know if it's English or if it's Scottish. But yeah, at least you have good material there to check out.
It sounds like it.
well,
I've seen
go ahead.
no, like I said, I've seen great stuff there, crazy stuff there. So like I don't know how much time we have. I'll share one little story if you guys will
Sure,
have me.
sure,
Like
sure.
like what because everyone that's been in wrestling industry for a while has one of those the what's the funniest story you have in wrestling, right?
Ooh, I love comedies.
So my funniest shit that happened for me. This is already remember this. So
John's just fucking hilarious. It's not what he says; it's how he says it, and it pops me sometimes. You said that,
yeah.
his face went, "Ooh, I love comedies." Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
So no, it's fine. So this story happened at a WrestleZone show. It was Regal Rumble. I don't remember which one. It was they usually do shows like in hotels. Like they rent like a big room and they put the ring at the end, put chairs, whatever, and then outside we have the merch area. And I
Hmm.
was at merch at that time, and was at the door. So imagine, like merch here, there's the door here, and this is the wrestling. And I was at the door, and the rumble starts to just starts, and an old man uh, appears there and is watching the merch. It's like, okay, man, it's fine, it's like it. And then I heard like of the side. I looked like the girl that was on the side of the merch, and the old man starts like pulling his pants because he wanted to pee there, right there at the merch table. It's like, what the hell? Like, we grabbed the man. It's like, I called the barman. It's like, excuse me, there's an old man there trying to pee. There's like, again? It's like,
Oh, so
He says again.
this
wait,
is not
This
a
is
first
not the
time
first
occurrence.
time.
It's not a first time
what you mean
occurrence.
again? It's like, what you mean again? I just go to the reception. It's like, okay, I go to the reception. I go to the reception. Hi, it's like, oh, is everything okay with the show? Yeah, yeah, it's fine. So there's this old man there that wanted to start peeing again. It's like,
Oh, now
what
you're
the
losing
hell?
me.
So, so what happened was it appears that a car appeared at that hotel and left the man there, and the man just went there, rented a room, and has been there since. So I don't know if it was a taxi or if it was a van. Is like, okay, so but can someone grab the old man and put him in the room or someone because we don't need him peeing in the fucking merch. So yeah, we'll
Yeah, I
grab some.
imagine that there's a health code violation at least. Not to mention some decency laws.
At a
Uh,
minimum.
the match continues because there's a rumble match happening inside the room. So I go back in. So the match is happening. It's like I look behind me and the fucking man is back on on boxers and he's peeing himself, just peeing himself there in the carpet. Yeah, because it's the UK, everything has carpets. He was peeing there, like there in the entrance, like okay, fuck. So I grab the security guy again. So the old man is again here. Like, so, oh shit, he peed himself.
Yeah, we're on a
Grabbed the
whole nother
man,
level.
went out.
Yeah,
So yeah,
this is far beyond what I expected.
no, no, no. The funny part comes now. Now comes the funny part. Yeah. So this is a rumble, right? Guys get eliminated. So usually they get eliminated. They go behind for the entrance. For some reason, we had this heel. I won't say his name, so I don't. But he was doing like a Trump personification gimmick,
Hmm.
and he decided to come in the direction of the merch of the entrance, and he was crawling on the
Oh
floor.
no.
Oh yes, he crawled on our direction. When I looked back, he was right on the top of that. It was like, and everyone around them. It's like I go to them like I was helping carry up. So, dude, get up, huh? Dude, get the fuck up. Someone pee there, huh? Mate, get the fuck out of there. An old man just pee there and you're on top. It's like, oh,
Oh.
yeah,
Oh, it gives a whole new meaning to golden showers, if I do say so, in regards to professional
yeah.
wrestling. There's
So when I
Oh.
can say I've seen everything in wrestling, yeah.
I
There's always that guy.
didn't have that on my bucket list, but here we are.
I didn't have it on my bingo card either, for that matter. Shit.
Mr. Lobo,
I mean,
I
cheers.
appreciate everything, and I appreciate your time to sit down with us and chit chat. Um, you got anything that you want to plug? Anything that you want to tell say to our viewers or our watchers over on YouTube before we get ready to sign off on it?
So I'll plug my Instagram space
Right above you.
page. It will be
It's
Lobo Iberico Wrestler
it's
up
right
here.
above you. Yep.
Uh, I also shout out to the three main companies I work at now: WrestleFest, um, APW, and Wrestling Portugal. Because before I only wrestled at one, and now I wrestle everyone, and they gave me a place to be able to tell my story in a way. So, and I'm thankful for that. So the least I can do is share them. And thank you guys for having me here.
Yeah, we will definitely tag all the feds and show some support and see if we can't drive some viewers your way over on YouTube or at anyway with the companies themselves. Um, this has been fun, man. I really appreciate just sitting down and chatting with you.
Cheers.
This has been a good one. John, should go ahead and close us out, my man. Do your thing.
Oh man, since we've stumbled into you guys, one of the best things about everything that we've had with interactions with you guys in WrestleFest has been the passion that you guys share for the industry and for building this product that you've got going on. You guys are on such a great track. We're so thankful to have you on the show here. You know, we always talk about how without you guys doing what you do, we wouldn't have a show, we wouldn't have a platform, and we wouldn't have an interesting hobby that we can be passionate about as well. So, you know, from the bottom of our hearts and all of our viewers, we appreciate your time and we thank you for sharing all your stories with us and doing what you do. Because, like I said, without you guys making the products for us to watch and enjoy and share with our audience, we would be without wrestling. And I don't know what I would even do like that. So, just from all of us to you, for sure, thank you for sharing your time. We're glad that you were here. We definitely want to have you back on again. It's been a pleasure. You guys out there, if you are not in Portugal and you can't buy a ticket, you can buy some merch. All the links are down below. If you can't afford to help and support the indies, you know how else you can help? That's super free. You can like and share all of the products. Maybe one of your friends is in Portugal or can buy a shirt or can buy a ticket, and they can help support the indies that you enjoy just like we do. It's been a pleasure sharing our passion for the independent wrestling scene with you guys today. And as always, guys, those elbows, savagely, drop them on that ding bell so you never miss a beat. What we got going on behind the curtain, we've always got new guests, just like our friend Lobo here. We've always got new shows and new stuff coming out behind the curtain. You can get early drops on our Discord and find out what we've got going on. Our Wrestle Request Live is always open to watch matches with us on Sundays. And we love each and every one of your faces, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, we'll see you then.
Oh.